Hello, can you hear me? Hello, yes. So we're back with another stream for the day. Right now, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not liking how price action's looking, and we can go from a top-down analysis to kind of see why. Give me one sec. Let me touch this. So if we go on the daily, right? If we go on the daily, we've already swept the previous day's low, which could indicate bullish momentum, right? That's the daily. So then we go to the 4 hour. What we have is a whole bunch of equal lows here. We swept previous day's low and we have a bunch of equal lows. From the 4 hour, I ended up putting, and I'll redo it, which is previous day low to previous day high, or you could do from previous day high to previous day low, because I want to measure the previous day's range. So I want to sell above 50% and I want to buy down here. So the sweep down here, the sweep of the daily, the previous day level, that would have been a good opportunity to buy. So we go to the 1 minute time frame, or the 1 hour, sorry. Like I said, we have the sweep and we have these equal lows. So that's a target for liquidity. I think that price will come back to these equal lows at some point. So that's adding to my thesis of what I potentially want to do. My goal is today um to sell above up here, back down into the range. Now the reason I want to do that, multiple reasons. I just explained that previous day's range, right? We swept the low of it. My thought process is we'll go to the 50% to 61.8 and then have a retracement. Now, we may go as high up to these highs up here, or we may come right to the 50% and then sell off. The reason being, we've got a bunch of equal highs right here. So I'm thinking we're going to sweep the equal highs, and then we're going to be able to get 5 points. Now, it might not go for the whole day, but we're going to be able to get 5 points. Now, if we just go to lower time frames to kind of design the trade a bit, delete this, delete this, delete this. Right. So, additionally, I don't like how the 830 is being used. Typically, when 830 is being used, I like to see respecting the 830 line. So, the lack of respect for the 830 line is giving me another reason why I don't want to be involved with the 830 line. And I may potentially target to sell above this line here, this yellow line. This yellow line is midnight open. See, it says New York midnight open. So the goal is sell above midnight open. Sell above the 50%. Sell in a premium relative to the entire previous day's range. Now there may be some buys up, right? If we go on lower time frame, 15-minute, we may get buys up, but I'm still thinking these equal lows are going to be taken at some point. Hell, even these equal highs, right? They're going to be taken at some point. These equal highs will be taken at some point. So we go down to the 5-minute. Price is currently consolidating. So what I think we're going to do is consolidate, manipulate up, and then distribute down. That's my belief right now. So with that thesis in mind, I'm not going to be buying at all. Even though we're on 830 right now, we didn't respect it these other times. Yes, we went slightly below it, whatever the number. Like, let's say if you bought and put a 5 point stop, you would have been stopped out at a few different times trying to take this buy. So that already gives me a bad sign to not use the 830 level for today. It may still be a draw on liquidity. That may be the target if we're selling above the 50% range up here, like I mentioned. If we end up selling up here, right? Let's say we sell right above the equal highs being ran, 5 point stop, right? We can target the 830 line for a 2.5 RR trade, right? Um, Potentially, but I won't be buying off 830 today, just based on how we're the respect it's giving it. I won't be buying on it. It's just not doing the first reaction, it's not reacting properly. So that might just be a draw. And midnight open is also right here. So my goal is to sell above that midnight open level. I want to see us sweep these equal highs, and then I want us to set in an inverse fair value gap above these levels to then use to go down. Or a breaker, unicorn, it doesn't really matter. Because once we're in the premium, we're going to use the PD arrays that are made available to us that will indicate bearish market flow, and we'll take those down. We'll take those down. So for right now, I am predicting it to go up, but I'm not going to be buying it here because I don't like how we haven't really respected the 830 level. I don't want to test it and be wrong and be upset about that. I want to focus on the sells because I think that has a higher probability of playing out considering we slept the previous day's low. The first target when you sweep previous day's low is a 50% level, right? So once we hit that 50% level, I'm expecting a retracement, right? Similar to here, although it wasn't 50 prior, but that retracement. All we need above the 50% level is a 5-point retracement. So we can enter up here, we can enter down here. It really just depends on how the price action is forming. But now you guys have my thesis for what I will be doing for the day, and I'll just have to wait until those conditions are met because currently I do not like the interaction with 830. Although I'm just strictly mostly a levels based trader, if I see that the levels are not being respected adequately, I abandon the level. So this 830 level is not being respected. It could be because there was news, it could be for a lot of different reasons. I won't be using it to enter a trade, right? That's what I'm dealing with right now. So yeah, we're gonna wait. I'm gonna put an alert. I'm gonna erase everything, right? Put an alert from previous day's high. Sorry, the fib from previous day high to previous day's low. Then I'm gonna put an alert at the 50% level. So I'm not gonna label it or anything, but once that alert goes off, I'll know to start looking for shorts in a premium. So I'm gonna put look for shorts. Now the reason I like this idea is simply because the 830 level, although we're still holding on it, it hasn't had the bone like the very strict respect on it that I like. So I'm not going to be pressing any buys on that level. I'm looking for shorts in a premium. Now, I could take shorts at 50 potentially, and those could lose, and then it comes to 75 and still go short. So what I want to do is wait for price action to shoot up, and I want to use an IFBG, inverted fair value gap, or unicorn to go lower. So that's currently my thought process. We're looking for shorts in a premium. We're going to use the inverse fair value gap or unicorn to go lower. 830 was disrespected a few times. I don't care if this time it's respected. I won't be taking that buy up. It could work just fine. I won't be taking that up. I'm going to be looking for shorts above these equal highs. I'm gonna be looking for shorts up here. So let's see if we get those shorts. Um, that's it for right now. So I'm just gonna drink some coffee. I'm gonna go on mute for right now, and until the alert hits, I probably just won't do anything. Today we will not be using any limit orders unless we get a nice gap, fair value gap or inverse gap to actually put it on. This 830 level, I don't trust it to put a limit order on. It doesn't mean that you couldn't have gotten 5 points on a buy already. I simply am not using 830 because I saw that we didn't respect it these times. I'm not looking to take 830 on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't want to use 830 on the 11th time. That's not how I trade it. I trade these levels on the first, second reaction primarily. By the time it's a third or fourth reaction, I'm not trusting it any further. And then hypothetically, if you did, like if you use it on the first reaction, bam. Second reaction, bam. Third reaction, no. Exactly. See, the thesis already played out. First, second, done. But see, it has to be first or second after 930 for me. That's the key difference. So for right now, we're just waiting because this is accumulating. We should manipulate up, then distribute down. That's what I'm anticipating. Now, if we just melt down, my thesis is completely incorrect, and there's no need for me to enter a trade. If we just start melting, so that would mean we couldn't stay above 830, and we're using that to go down. That's good for the market. I'm happy for the market, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be forcing a trade there. There's no trade to be forced there. So we just sit here and wait. And again, this little thing I put on here was just to show you could get 5. Not that I was taking a trade there. Like I said, the first or second reaction, sure. The third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, no. I'm not taking a trade off of there. So what I'm expecting is accumulation, right? Then manipulation, manipulation, then distribution. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to go that low. I don't need it to. If I can get in this manipulation leg here, I can get out relatively speaking here. So I'm not even I don't need the full I need it to get to the low of the accumulation potentially. If I don't get in the entry until here, this is all I would need to for me to claim a successful day. See, you have to create your own parameters for a successful day. If you don't, you're going to get caught up in trying to do too much. So for me, I'm trying to keep it simple. Accumulate, right? Accumulation, this accumulated, manipulated, distributed down. Didn't take out the lows of it, but got very close. That would have been enough for 5 points. Same concept here. Accumulate, manipulate up, distribute down. Now, if this just melts off, all right, I'm just incorrect, and there's no trade for me to take, right? If I took the 830, it would have been violated. So we're going to see if it's accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We're going to find out together if that's what's happening. So let's see if we can get our piece, right? We're trying to get our piece, and we're trying to get it up here within. We want to sell, relatively speaking, above this 50% level, right? We're gonna sell above here and just aim for the manipulation lows, and then we'll get out early if we get the trade. If we don't get the trade, we don't get the trade. Now, how this day differs from the other days is look at the lack of respect for 8:30. When I see the lack of respect for 8:30, that's telling me there's a higher time frame element in play. So higher time frame elements for me would be that previous day low to high. That's the first thing I'm looking at. I'm not marking up the fair value gaps, not marking up the breakers, none of that shit. I'm simply marking up the previous day high to low with a fib. And that 50% level, right? I'm looking, that's the premium. This area up here, look for shorts in premium. Use an IFVG or unicorn to go lower. That's the premise. So look, price is heading lower. What do? Nothing. We do nothing. Simple. Nothing. We don't do anything. It's at previous day's low again. Okay, that might be a buying opportunity. It actually might be a buying opportunity. Um, as well, we're almost at London low too. So previous day, London low could be a buying opportunity down there. Let's see. See how it's not respecting it enough. I don't like that. I don't like that it's not respecting it. So that makes me hesitant. But it's not a simple day. Don't let it. I'm talking like it's, oh yeah, it's this, that. It's not a simple day at all. This is a confusing day. If you don't know what you're doing, you will blow your account on a day like this. Right? This is trapping people both short and long. Right? Oh, it's going up. Okay, trapped in the shorts. I mean, buys. Okay, then it goes short. Oh, it's going down. Gets trapped in a short. It sweeps all the higher time frame lows, then goes up. The potential to go up is dramatic. But the potential to go down can still occur. You know what I'm saying? It can still occur. It's just that's not something that I'm interested. I'm not interested in selling here. I don't want to take out these equal highs before I even get interested in any kind of sell premise. The sell might work perfectly all day, but it's just not what I'm not comfortable taking that. Now, maybe this buy down here, potentially I might be comfortable taking based on the risk reward, but I'm just not seeing us slowing down. And if I look at the other assets, if I look at NQ, NQ is finding support on London low. So that might be a good sign to buy here, actually. Let me see. The buy might be really good. I'm being hesitant. It's gonna buy up. I'm not gonna buy it though. Hit previous day's low, it hit London low, the buy would work. I assume the buy would work. If not, it's just a 5 point stop right there. But MNQ, ES, the buy would work. The buy would work. I'm just not gonna do it. Unfortunately. But fortunately, I gotta follow my plan. Yeah, those buys would have already been up 3 points. A limit order on the actual London low would have gave you 5 points already. Maybe we'll get in on this retracement into this gap. What's the MNQ doing? That gap would be a good buy. On a 1 minute. Is this a 1 minute? Can't see it here. Hold on. How do I put the time frames on without? So we're digging into this fair value gap right here, plus volume imbalance. Both of those can lead price up. They can. It doesn't have to. It can. I think it would be a good buy there as well. So there's potential buys there. 5 points would be right here. There already was a 5-point buy if you bought it at the London low. It's just not what I'm interested in right now. It's 1044. Let's see what else is doing. Hey, what's up? My strategy? Okay, I trade ICT concepts, but specifically I trade levels. So London high, London low, Asian high, Asian low, midnight open, previous day high, previous day low. Those are the main 8:30 open. Those are the main trade levels I take. So this could have been trades right here on this buying of London low over here. It could have been buys at previous day's low right here. Um, I'm not sad I didn't take it, but those could have been two buys where you could have gotten 5 points. So we're just gonna sit through them. We're not taking any of those. But that's my strat. ICT levels. There goes the bullish momentum. So multiple ways to catch a trade, get some points. You gotta just be content. What's up, Collab? What's up, Red Cloak? How y'all doing? So those buys would have worked. Didn't take. Did not take them. Off the buys off previous day's low, off of London low would have worked. Those would have gave you 5 points, both of them, just by hitting buy. Price going hella bullish. Back to the 830 level, which I'm not interested in. See those how those could have been buys off of two levels that are relevant. London low, previous day's low. This inverse gap right here. Bam, send price up. 5 points. That's how simple trading can be. I'm overcomplicating it just a little bit by asking for it to go up here to sell off, but there's a lot of sellers trapped here. So before we go any further down, we need to take their stops. We're probably going to take their stops too over here. Sorry. There's a lot of sellers stop losses above here. So I'm anticipating us to take these stops before we go short again. Same as how there were buyer stops here. We went to take the buyer's stops before going up. It's that simple. Now we're at 8:30. Like I said, I haven't liked that reaction 8:30 has been given today. So I'm not interested in anything 8:30 related, unfortunately. I love 8:30, but not today. Give me one moment. All right, so we're back. What we're seeing is price going back above that consolidation. It's trying to get above it, and I will be selling above there. It may be a short-term sell, but I will be a seller above these levels. The reason being, that's the premium of the day. Also, considering this bullish push up, let's say we get up to here ish, I'll be fine trading back to the 50% level of the bullish push up, and there still will be room if we're fully bullish on the day. There should still be room to go bullish. But we did frame out that buy trade. We didn't take it. It's a possibility. You got to know. I'm new to ICT. I don't know where to begin for futures trading. Go to ICT 2022 mentorship. Go study ICT OTE, optimal trade entry. Watch all those videos. Go study ICT 2022 mentorship. Those are the main two that will get you profitable. Watch the mentorship with no rant. They have that version. Someone made it. So it's like ICT 2022 mentorship, no rant. So it's a lot easier to digest because you don't have a lot of him just talking about whatever. But watch both the rant, the original. Watch ICT OTE model. It's gonna take a while. None of this is gonna happen overnight. So you have to be an adult. Don't act like a kid. This is not some hobby. This is a business. Most people on a stream like this would have already taken 55 trades. You have to have really good discipline to be a trader, especially with ICT concepts, because you can always create mentally a reason to enter a trade. If you're not disciplined, it won't work. I love the rants. No, I love his rants too. ICT's rants are good, but the average person is just like they're not prepared for it, so it's just gonna take multiple levels of education and learning. But I agree, Rocket Trading Group. I agree. Like rants are lit. No, for sure, I got you, Red Cloak. If anything, you follow me on YouTube, comment or something, you can reach out to me. My email is bruceprofits@gmail.com, or hit me up on TikTok, or I'm not on Instagram right now, but TikTok, YouTube. Um, but you really don't need me. You need to just study ICT concepts, and then you need to just hold yourself accountable and stop spending money. The main key to learn is to stop spending a whole bunch of money. If you're spending a whole bunch of money, it's really detrimental to the learning process because you're focused on spending to make money, and then the results are going to be subpar. I put that shit on my mama. Promise you. Now, there may be a good buy here. This is the last set of up close candles in this downtrend. This is a fair value gap. This may be a good buy into the levels that we're talking about. Um, but I don't think I'm going to take it because I'm more interested in being a seller. It might not, it might be better than the sells potentially, but I gotta follow my plan. If I didn't take the good buys down here, I don't gotta take this buy in the middle. If that makes sense. I don't have to take anything that doesn't serve me fully. So that's one thing I won't be taking. Yeah, my IG is not there. My win rate, it doesn't really matter. It's between like 50 to 80%. Win rate doesn't matter. Whenever someone asks about win rate, that tells you how much of a novice they are. Unfortunately, because the industry is so obsessed with saying if you don't have a good win rate, you're not a good trader. It's not true. I've made six figures with a 50 to 80%, 50 to 70% win rate. You don't have to have a super high win rate. You have to know how to close a loss. You have to know how to not take trades. If you're looking for a a high win rate strategy, you just got to lower the risk reward. You got to lower how much you're targeting. The less you target, the easier it is to have a higher win rate. The higher your targets, the probability is you're going to have a lower win rate. It's just math. So you have to be practical and don't get obsessed with the wrong things. Win rate is cool if you're consistent. If you're not consistent, the win rate doesn't matter because you could blow it all on one trade and you won the last 10. It doesn't. It's irrelevant. 50% win rate, 40% win rate, that'll get you paid. 100% win rate, I mean, that can only last for so long. I've had accounts where I've gotten a payout with 100% win rate. It's not like it's not possible. But I have 8 to 9 years experience. So if you don't have 8 to 9 years, don't expect that to be some regular ass shit. That's gonna be some shit where you won't even be able to figure out how to do that because it's not feasible. You feel me? But start off being happy making, winning 50% of your trades. And then the key to being really good is learning how to add to the winners. So if you can add to the winners and never add to the losers, you'll be fine. But if you get caught in the rabbit hole of DCAing into losers, there's no coming back from that. DCAing into losers is going to make you won't be able to take a loss because you're going to think you could turn it to a bigger winner. And once you can't take a loss, you can't be a trader. Simple as that. You're gambling now. So the question is, how can you just manage risk, not how can you have a high win rate? Win rate's not going to do anything for you if you're not managing risk. Now we are coming back to the 830 level. There's a lot on my chart, but I don't know if you can see it. It's this thin black line. I may buy that black line. I may buy it because I do think we're going up to my level. And if we can hit that 830 line, let me see. The 5-point stop will be down here. I don't think we're coming back down there. Right? There will be a fair value gap here. This set of up close candles would be a breaker considered for this downtrend. So there may be a good buying opportunity still within that little range, which I might have just missed talking about it, which is fine. Um, yeah, it didn't hit 830 perfectly, but it did a quick hard core reversal to the high. So forget that. But that other trade I said earlier, this breaker here, this fair value gap, that worked out. That trade worked. So now we're waiting. We're waiting. Again, this fib right here, I'm trying to measure the bullish range up. So that way when I sell, I want to make sure I'm getting out before we hit that 0.5 of the bullish range up. Right? I thought we were going to accumulate here, manipulate up to distribute down. That can still be true. The accumulation can be this whole entire range right here because we already were doing that here. So there could be this whole thing could be accumulation. Accumulate, manipulate up, then distribute down. That's what my thought process is. Could be incorrect. It could be incorrect. I need you to know that. The trade could not work. It's a possibility. You have to manage risk. That's the only answer. You feel me? But contact me on YouTube, contact me on TikTok. I'm not on Instagram right now. Could have been done for the day if I took those buys on previous day low, London low. So that is my fault because I should have had alerts on them to just remember those are relevant levels to take trades off of. But I kind of made my mind up to take sells above the 0.5, right? I wanted to get into a premium to take sells. That was my mental. It makes sense because we're going to run all the stops of the current sellers. These are all current sellers. If we can run all their stops, this is the highest stop right here. If we can run all those stops, that's going to leave room for me to actually take a trade. But we got to run the stops. If we're not running the stops, then I'm not interested. If we're going to sell off before we run the stops, you won't catch me in the trade. We're going to need to run the stops. I'm not an ICT private mentorship student. You don't need any of that. He said himself, his top students came from the 2022 mentorship. Most of the unprofitable private mentorship students, they became profitable through the 2022 mentorship. So if you don't go watch that, you're wasting your time. There's no shortcut. Everyone wants, where do I start? Where do I start? Every day, notes. You're going to end up rewatching videos. You need to develop a skill set to sit there, study, study, study. Keep studying, keep studying. What I'm talking about, you should be able to understand every single thing I say. You should be thinking about it similarly. If you're not, then you haven't studied enough. When I talk to other ICT students, we easily can come to the same conclusions with different PD arrays. We don't need the same PD array. We can still come to the same conclusion because we can understand market structure, price action, levels. So you need to develop your ability to study first before you even worry about trading. If you don't know how to study properly, the trading shit's not going to work out. You need to give up your life, stop going out, stop thinking about doing other things, and just study, study, study. Then only get one account, one account. And until you master getting payouts on one account, don't buy anymore. Don't waste any money. Don't try to become somebody else. Don't try to do anything. Just do one thing. Study, study, study. Then get one account. Study, study, study. And then once you succeed, succeed, then you can scale up. Don't try to scale up too quick because you're going to put yourself in debt before you even know what you're even doing. Don't do that. Simple. If you don't do that, when you do know what you're doing, you'll have money to scale up. But if you just over leverage, over invest, you'll spend years not knowing what you're doing and being broke. So that doesn't even make sense. So don't overinvest trying to learn. Study ICT for free. There's no ICT private mentorship student that I can name other than probably like Kyle. There's Kyle and there's Ali Khan. There's like two of them. But it doesn't really matter. But study Kyle though. Kyle's good. Kyle, his name's like Jade Master. 7 of y'all on here. I appreciate y'all for being on here. I know it's kind of lackluster because I didn't take a trade yet. The buys could have came from these lows here. Another buy could have came right here. Not I wasn't interested. I was kind of interested, but not really. I want the sells above these regions. So we're playing a patient game today. There was news at 10. I went for a 30-mile bike ride before the stream. So I don't I'm being very patient. I'm being patient. I don't care to do anything crazy right now. I want to see my levels be respected, used. So, all right. So let's see. We should shoot above 50% for sure. If we can get above 61.8, cool. And then we'll start looking for shorts there based on price action. But if we fail for today, the lesson was you should have took previous day low and Asian low buys. Simple as that. If we fail. If we don't fail, the thesis was correct. Selling above these equal highs was correct. Doesn't have to be a big sell off. It just has to be enough to get back down to these equal lows, right? Because we've got these equal lows right here. We've got these equal lows, these equal lows. So price can come back to all of those equal lows. Price can come back to previous day's low. Price can come back to London low. Price can come back to 830. You see how we didn't touch 830 right here? You got very close. That's room. There's room there for price to come back and then claim that liquidity. So now we've outlined how we could have caught buys 3 different times to get 5 points. That's what I'm here for, to catch 5 points. That's it. Right? So we sit here, we wait for 5-point trades that we want. The other ones that are good that we don't want, we just don't take them. It's that simple. If we want it, we take it. If we don't want it, we don't take it. We can identify it. That's part of being a good analyst, but the good trader takes the trades that he predicts, right? Or you could take reactionary trades too. I like that too, but why? It's just like it's not as easy for me as it is just to plan out my trade and take that trade I plan. But reactionary trading is also, good, but you should be able to predict with a healthy win rate. Otherwise, you're just gambling in a sense. And there's no certainty of what it's going to do, but the probability of what it's going to do is there. We've been streaming for 40 minutes, no trades. Could have caught buys off of London low, previous day's low. Could have got in on a little inverse gap. Could have got in on a breaker fair value gap combo here. Doesn't matter. We didn't. So woulda, coulda, shoulda, did it. We're still just waiting to see if we're gonna once we breach that 50% region, once we breach that midnight open level, right? Reach that 61.8. That's key information for us. We want to see us breach those levels. I am tired. Can't lie from that bike ride. I think I'm gonna sit down. I haven't sat down in a while. I never really sit down on this, but that 30-mile bike ride got me tired. Let me see if there's any comments. No new comments. All right. We wait. We wait. We wait. Now, if we just shoot up past everything, there won't be a trade for me, unfortunately. But based on what I know, what I'm used to seeing, there should be at least a temporary trade for us because once we get up into this and create that manipulation, potentially, there should be a trade at least back to these equal lows here. Maybe we'll get back to these again, but if we at least get back to these equal lows, that's more than enough room to have a profitable trading day. If we sold from up here, down back to here, 13-point range to be able to get 5 points. That's you can get 5 points almost 2 to 3 times out of there, depending on what entry you use. It's not gonna be easy, but it's doable. What is NQ doing? NQ is going up. NQ is sweeping London high already. ES hasn't done it. That's a good sign because what happens is NQ might run up further. Then once ES runs past whatever it needs to run past, it'll be giving me a lot more confirmation. If I can see like an inside close on NQ, it'll give me a lot more confirmation to take the ES sell. By inside close, I mean a candle that makes like a big wick, and then the next candle's body just closes within it. Right? Like an inside bar kind of vibe. Now that might not happen. It might not happen. We could just sell off from here, and then I'd be wrong. But I'm looking to sell in this region up here with confirmation. The buys could have been taken from here, but we're not taken. So do we cry about it? No. We can journal it. We can reflect. We can say, why didn't you take previous day's low? That's the most important levels. It is. Previous day low, previous day high are the most important levels I could have traded. I didn't trade it because I was a little bit mentally not prepared. And that's the unfortunate truth. Sometimes I'm more mentally prepared for other things when I look at the chart, and it's hard to switch my mentality to be prepared for the other things that I'm seeing. So that's what happened in that scenario. I was prepared to sell above the highs. I wasn't prepared to buy the lows because we had already swept the low. We swept the low. We already swept previous day low in London. So my thought process wasn't that we were going to go back there and do it again. That wasn't where my head was at, right? And that's okay. You can't you could be very profitable without being able to predict every single move. You just got to predict a few moves, one move a day, two moves a day, and that's it. I predicted this move. I predicted this. As far as when it landed there, okay, it might buy up. Cool, but it doesn't mean that I have to take it. Now my other predictions that when we get up to this region, energetics buy up, leave a nice size gap in there, sell that gap. Sell that gap. Target 50% of the bullish push up. Okay, what is time and price? Time and price? I mean, I don't know, bro. You gotta look up ICT and see what he says about it. To me, time and price is just literally the time. Price is the price. So time is important because let's say, for instance, my window is supposed to be 9:30 to 11ish. This 10:40 kind of trade was really good because it was in the window to take a trade, right? Now this trade I'm about to take potentially, maybe slightly out of my window, which I'm gonna give it some room to do that because there was news today at 10, and there was other news today going on as well. But the red news happened at 10, and that could have kind of threw off some of the natural price action. When we were just doing this big consolidation, I wasn't really interested in it. So even that buy from the lows of the consolidation, it didn't impress me because I don't like really trading that consolidation, so to speak. Unless it's like the first touch of 830, cool. But the fifth touch of 830, I don't like that. The second touch of previous day's low, I don't really like that. The first touch of London low, I should have took that. That's fine. Um, but it's okay. But time and price is literally the time, the price. The reason you're asking that is because you just haven't studied enough. You have to study ICT like he's going out of style, like he's gonna remove his videos. Once you study him like that, and then you create a little of your own playlist of like he has these speeches that people keep editing. People edit a whole bunch of different speeches that he makes. Even me, I have them on my channel. If you go through my playlist, there's one that has like ICT motivation. And I just listen to stuff like that all the time to keep my mind right and realize, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. The keys to ICT are very simple, but you have to take in so much information to really get to that point. But if you don't take in the information, you can't get to any point. You're just going to be asking questions of people that don't really have that full answer because the full answer is in his teachings. Study till you can't study no more. For real. What the time and price? I don't know if you threw the bird at me, but that's funny. I appreciate you, Red Cloak. Any interaction is warranted. But I'm just saying, like, if you really want to be the person who's on the stream and not watching it, you gotta study. I journal. I do digital, so I just record this and then I do like a little voiceover of it too, and I post them on TikTok. I post it on YouTube. I haven't been doing any handwritten journals. I'm gonna be honest with you. I still made over six figures, multiple six figures, without really doing much hand journaling. But I do watch my own videos a lot. So like I'm off Instagram because I'll watch other people's content. So I'm on TikTok, but I still just watch my own TikToks. So it's like I just study my journal, my old journals every day of what I did and what I didn't do, and that gives me confirmation of doing the right thing most of the time. So that's what you want. You want to just have enough information to know you're doing the right thing. Doing both is key. Just if you set up your computer to do YouTube live, screen record while you're trading, you can make it private so that nobody has to see it if you don't want, and then just review it. And then you can go in there and then you can do like edits. Like if you use certain apps, you could do quick edits where they'll just cut out everything where you're not talking, and we'll have an edit so you can like digest that. And then you could journal better. You could like go behind that and do a voiceover of the whole session if you really wanted to. So there's a lot of ways to journal, but I do digital. I do digital. Study till you can't study no more. That's what you gotta do. You gotta study till you can't study no more. You're not lying. This would be maybe a good buy because we're at the 50% of a macro. That's a B trade for me. A's are levels, B's are macros. 50% of the macro, potential buy up to target that midnight open level. Again, I'm trying to be a seller above this. If we take off dramatically, I'm not putting on a sell just to look cool. It has to actually make sense on the grand scheme of things, right? So we're gonna see if we get that opportunity, and then if we do, we execute on it. Now M&Q currently is struggling. It swept the highs very briefly. It swept midnight open very briefly, and it's kind of struggling. I'm hoping that it still takes these highs again on M&Q, which I don't have pulled up here because I'm trading ES, but I'm hoping this is M&Q, right? What we want to see is this high. This high was taken, right? We want to see us do this, then come down. And while that's happening, we're going to be still within a reasonable range on ES to look for the sells. Hopefully. That's the goal. Now, some could argue, wait, you missed the buys off London low. Yeah. You missed the buy off previous day low. Yeah. You missed the buy off London low again. Yeah. You did. I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. It is what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be so caught up in, oh, I caught everything and oh, I don't catch it all. Like, who cares? You need one or two setups. You know what I'm saying? If I end up not taking any trades for the day, that's better than taking a losing trade. The key is capital preservation. It's not just take trades all day to look cool. Like, preserve the capital, keep the capital in the account, right? That's the game. Add to it. You know what I'm saying? Stack up profits. So that comes from being very selective, very patient, very organized, thoughtful in your approach. You know what I'm saying? You got to be thoughtful. To me, I'm still thinking, looking at this as a good sign because to me, this is still just equal lows that need to be taken. Now, if we melt down further, all right, it could complicate it, but we're still just creating equal lows here, essentially, that at a certain point in time, we're probably going to sweep all the highs, and then these equal lows will just be a target. The key lessons from today so far were, where were your alerts on previous days low and London low? If I had paid attention, those alerts would have been set, and then MNQ hit it, ES hit it. There's no reason not to take the trade at that point because we've now hit it on both and seen a healthy rejection. Plus, we had that inverse gap that I obviously saw but didn't act on. Then we had the retracement back to the level, didn't take it. So those could be the two lessons so far, but that's it for today so far. The 830 line, I don't like anything with the 830 line at all. It hasn't impressed me at all. Right? The previous day low, fine. London low, fine. But 830, nothing. I don't give a fuck. All right? That's just it. I don't care about what that did cuz it wasn't doing what I wanted. It didn't do the one touch after 930. It did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't need 8 touches of 830 level. That's not my best setup off 830. My best setup off 830 is the one or two rejections. Simple as that. How do you journal digitally or physically? You already asked that, but yeah, that's what I do. I just screen record it, edit it, upload it. This is a stream, so this is just going to be uploaded naturally. But I review them. I watch my own streams. I go back, look at them, see where I missed good trades, see how I manage trades, dissect that information. We're under 830. This could be a good buy. We're under 830 and the macro. Could be a great buy. On MNQ, we're just hitting 830 again. That's a double entendre to possibly buy from this level. Or possibly SMT because we're both at the level, but I won't be buying it. Still. Oh, that wick closure. That wick closure might actually lead to a good run up. MNQ respected the wick, the previous wick. We should see it go up. All right, I'm gonna step away. All right, so we're back, and what's problematic, which I'm gonna be honest about, we already swept previous day's low, right? And then on top of it, MNQ, which is not showing here, MNQ, this is not MNQ, this is MNQ. MNQ already reacted off midnight open, which is this yellow line, and London high, which is this blue line. These are indicators I have that have the levels, whatever. So MNQ already had its reversal off of the levels that I'm targeting on ES. So if I look at ES, this is ES. Let's remove all the drawings. We're gonna remove all the drawings, right? So MNQ didn't touch midnight open or London high already. So that's problematic because NQ did and actually rejected. So we may not get the trade that I was looking for. We may not get it. And that's what I have to deal with. I have to mentally accept we may not get it. I may have missed my opportunity to take those earlier buys. I'm not interested in these sells because if this sells already a full sell off, it's probably going to pierce through, retest these to continue to sell off. Right? And then it just doesn't make sense for me to take the buys. Like I get it why it could work, but based on how I was thinking, I just can't shift. I mentally just can't shift at this point. So I'm just gonna sit here looking. Haha, do you like buys could run here? There it is. Let's see what it get. Might have been the return to origin. Yeah, bro. Like the 830 line was unreliable today. Most days it's super reliable, but today was unreliable as shit because look at how it didn't respect anything. That's problematic. That's a problem. You're trading the line and it's not being respected. That's a problem. Now, unfortunately, but fortunately, I guess buys off of this level or in between could have already had 5 points, right? Here was the 5 points before, and then here's some here. But again, based on how I trade, I should have, could have, would have took these earlier trades, missed them. And I expected to have a sell-off above the 50% of the daily range. Now, MNQ already got to 50% of the daily range and sold off. And ES currently, because that's the daily range, that's previous day's low, hasn't got there. It got close, it didn't get there. To me, that's forming equal low, equal highs, which we can sell from, right? And then it's like, this is, if you look, this is a whipsaw. Keep going lower, lower, higher, higher, lower, lower, higher, higher, lower, lower, higher, higher. So then I potentially, if I'm taking these sells, the part of the whipsaw I'm trying to be in is sweeping these highs to sell back down to the range. Now, for us to have a really great chance at this trade, what we'd want to see, right? We'd want to see price go up, right? And then essentially not really make a whole bunch of areas to be a lot of areas left untested. So that way when we're coming back down, it's clear that there's liquidity to be tested. Right? But the natural inclination is previous day low to previous day high. Right? But we just haven't showed a willingness for that to occur. So we have to be very patient in terms of decision making that we make because it hasn't occurred. Now, previous day low again would have been a good buy. Asian low again would have been a good buy. Didn't take it again. My mind is stuck on selling in the premium. Even though this would be buying below the discount, that would be the optimal buy. My mind is stuck in selling in the premium. So let's see if we get to the premium and we get that sell opportunity. And if we don't, we can look back and study today as, dude, we were in a deep discount Why didn't you buy? Study that aspect of it. Back to the 830 level again, which we haven't respected fully, so I don't care about it. That level really means nothing to me at this point. This is also known as seek and destroy. And how you know it could be potentially seek and destroy is it's just a whole bunch of turtle soups. So level ran, turtle soup. 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 I wanted to run this level, turtle soup. That's what I want. Now, I could be asking for too much, but that's what I'm asking for. Let's see what we get. Not a impossible trading day, but not a very easy trading day if you're making discretionary decisions. Now, if you have an automated strat, it's just a trading day. Doesn't matter. But if you're looking at price action and you're trying to understand what is the directional bias, you got to understand what we're doing right now is we're forming a higher time frame candle, right? So what this candle looks like right now is up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. This is a doji for the most part, right? This is primarily a doji, right? So what happens is if we do get that higher push like I'm expecting to then sell off, that'll be the wick. This will be the body, and then we'll go further lower. And if we don't get that, then I'm wrong. But based on price action, let's see. This might be a good buying opportunity, but this will be like the third or fourth time it's touched these levels. So the probability is it will be disrespected. Price is tapping into the last down close candle right here. So that potentially can be the order block to send price up. Potentially. Now, it's not my favorite trade or anything like that, but that's what I'm seeing, and I'm just notating it so that you guys can understand why I believe price might go up. Like I think I called price possibly going up here, failed. Didn't call it here, didn't call it here. Right? So not every trade you're gonna have the exact bias and know exactly what's going on. But you can figure yourself out and get comfortable and create a stable environment to take, profitable trades that make sense. Some trades make sense, some don't. On a day like this, it's okay if you didn't take any trades. It's okay. The reason I think we're going up is because we've already swept these lows here, and I'm anticipating to go up. Now, it doesn't have to do that. That's what I'm anticipating. If we took a buy right here, stop at the low would be for 5 points. I don't want to take it. To me, this is currently seek and destroy. So the potential to go back up and take those highs is high. I believe we will pop back into a premium briefly for the day and then go short. I believe the goal of the day was to trap people short, take their stops, then go short. Now on ES, technically, we already took every stop other than the one that occurred at 228. So we've took stops to go short. So that thesis can play out without us even going any higher. The reason that I wanted us to go higher, because on a lot of other days, we're going above the 50% of the previous daily range before we're even looking for any shorts that are serious. Mind you could have got 5 points on all these shorts, but we're trying to position ourselves where the probability is we'll be in the higher time frame move. So if we're thinking about, if let's think the opposite of the trade we're in. So if we're thinking that we were going to be going along, right, and we have the fib drawn out, we would want to buy near the bottom of the fib or below it. So the buys from the bottom of the fib, the first one, there was one at 9:54, and there was one at 10:38. There was one at 11:26. So there were opportunities to buy in a deep, deep, deep discount. There were a few. Price has now come back and taken out the stop of this one. Price has taken out the stop of this one. So anybody who's positioned for buys potentially has been stopped out. I don't know if that makes sense, but it that's the reality. Now anyone positioned for sells potentially could have been stopped out. I want to take the sellers that have price here. I want those sellers. I want to switch their stop loss for my sell. Their buy stop, because they have a buy stop there to mitigate their drawdown. I need my sell stop or my sell limit to switch with them so that I can get in a short above the price action. Now it may not work. This stream may be 2 hours long, and I may not take any good trades because I missed the original buys that were good, and the sells based on NQ. We already had a breach of these highs, equal highs, to then say we did a higher time frame reversal already. That's a possibility. And that's what trading is about, possibilities. It's not a guarantee. Nothing is guaranteed in trading. Everything is a potential, a possibility, an opportunity. It's no guarantees. The sooner you come to terms with that, the better off you're going to be as a trader because you won't be worried about unlimited potential. You only got to be thinking about probability. It's what is probable? What will probably happen? Probably happen. I mean, we're nowhere near the areas I'm trying to trade, so I'm gonna go get some water. All right, so we're back. As you can see, we still found support at the previous day low. At the previous day low. So previous day low is now given 1, 2, 3 entries that gave 5 points. So that's that's a miscalculation on my part by not taking the trade. But again, I don't care. I'm not trying to take that. I'm trying to take the cells up here to target, accumulate, manipulate up, distribute down. Long stream, I know. No entries taken yet, so could be disappointing for some. They want to see quick reactions, quick trades. A little tired from that 30-mile bike ride. Didn't take the previous day low buys, London low buys. It's fine. It is fine. We are anticipating an opportunity to sell above this range. Now, if we do break out and just keep running, we won't be selling. But SMT with NQ, inverse gap, unicorn will sell. We'll sell if we get all those things. Easily can be a seller at a later point in time. Now this, there's no this, but this could be a buy for somebody. We're below 830 in a fair value gap. For me, the stop would be too big, so I wouldn't take it. But again, this is just adding to my thesis. I'm gonna be honest with you, because this is just a whole bunch of equal lows. Equal lows, equal lows. It doesn't. It's not giving. It's not giving super bullish. I don't know how to explain that. If it's bullish, it should be higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. All these lows happen to keep being lower and lower and lower. So even if we get this intermediary high that takes out these two highs or whatever, relatively speaking, if we're going down, we could still go down from there, which would be probable based on the previous day's range 50% level. Anything above 50% is premium. Anything below is discount. So I think we're going into a premium to then sell off. Could be wrong. If I'm wrong, then the best trades were previous day's low, London low, previous day low again, previous day low again. All right? If I'm wrong. If I'm right, those areas are targets for the potential sell off. If I'm right, we'll be out of our trade before it even gets to those levels because we're going to secure 5 on majority of the accounts instead of just holding just because. So let's see if we can get up there and get the reaction we want and just be disciplined in how we want to trade this. Let's see if we get what we're looking for. We may or we may not get it. My stomach hurts. I'm tired. I want this to occur. In my opinion, we rarely have had any reliable 830 trades today, which is a sign. It's a sign that the higher time frame PD array is taking heavy precedence over whatever 830 line is doing. Along inside of that fair value gap right here, let's say you entered long right here, right? Stop at the low of the candle that created that fair value gap. This is the gap, just in case you can't see it. All right, so this, you could take this fair value gap, potentially ride it up, potentially. Again, my goal is not to be a buyer. Yes, it presented opportunities to buy. That would have been almost 5 points already on that trade if you took the buy off of that fair value gap, like I mentioned, below 830. So it's not like I can't predict a buy. It's my probability is telling me look for the sells above the 50% region. Now, something I do like, and I will erase everything again because I don't mind erasing everything just to keep my mind fresh, right? Something that I do really like is that 50% is very close to the midnight open, very close to the London high, right? That does give me some confidence that we may sell at that region. All right, got the level again on there with the alert. So the thought process is still the same because what's happened on all the sell-offs is slightly turtle soup it in reverse. We're not melting bearish. We're not. So it's giving me confidence that we're going to sell from a premium and then actually head bearish. Even for the bulls, sweep the highs, go back. Sweep the highs, go back. So let's see if we sweep the highs and go back. So it wouldn't be a lot. It wouldn't be much different from what's already happened multiple times within the day. It's just you have to look at the spectrum of if you only wanted to catch the low of day and hold it to the highs, it would have been a tough day for you. If you were comfortable getting in here, getting out up there, getting in here, getting out, you'd be okay. You have to be malleable when it comes to this trading. You can't just be stuck. But yeah, it's been a long stream. We've been just sitting on here for hours at this point. So it's obviously consolidating. To me, accumulating. There was many opportunities to get 5 points, and I avoided all of them strategically, mentally. I couldn't accept the buys, the previous day low buys. because I didn't like the 830 reaction, so I was very hesitant with any immediate reactionary trades because 830 has just been disrespected continually today. We're waiting, we're watching. We're not getting in until price gets above this 50% level. And then when it does, we're looking for very specific price action. We're looking for price to go above the 50%. And since this is put reverse, you won't see the higher. Let me put it the right way, sorry. So previous day high to previous day low. We're looking to get above 50, potentially to 61.8. Most of the liquidity that needs to be ran, if we're being honest, this is the highest form right here. This is the second highest. So we could see it start to break down between those two levels after sweeping them. Right? So put liquidity. Where's the tool? Liquidity, liquidity. If we can take out those levels of liquidity, the potential to go up and turn around is extremely high, at the very least on a short-term basis. Now, this could be the highs of the day. This could be the highs of the session. This can happen in PM session. We may have to sit here, and today is the day where I'm just going to sit and watch. I don't have to leave or go anywhere, so I'm just going to sit and watch and allow the market to go to the levels I'm interested in, and then I'll interact based on what occurs. Again, we're waiting for price to get to the premium of the daily range, which is up here. Premium. All right, premium of daily range. Premium of daily previous day range. So this is a premium of the previous day range. This entire sector here. That's where I want to take my sell. Now it could have been done already if I had simply just taken the previous day low trade, which didn't entice me because mentally I couldn't accept it. I couldn't accept that. So sorry I had to redo that so I can keep it lock. So we're just waiting. But this is a whipsaw. I'm potentially gonna sell the high of the whipsaw to then take the entire range back down. Accumulate, manipulate up, distribute down. Right? Some other factors that might actually encourage me as well. If I'm looking on ES, if I go on a higher time frame, if I marked off like the entire, well, that was a previous day's range anyway, but if you mark off the huge upswing, forget what I'm talking about. Just forget. I'm getting delusional. I've been sitting here for a while. But yeah, we're just waiting. We're waiting to be a seller up here. We have alerts. Premium. We want to sell in a premium. The buys off 830 might finally actually be showing some level of support, which is cool. Let's see if we get up there. Let's see if we get up there. And then we sell off from there. Oh, and what I love is still got equal lows. Equal lows, equal highs. So take the equal highs, take the equal highs, come back and take the equal lows. We'll be out before we get to the equal lows, but the potential is there if it is a trade to run. Just outlining the potential. Just need room to get 5 points. 5 points can actually feed you and your family if you have enough accounts, if your account is large enough. That's the key. The key is not, I repeat, the key is not to have to catch the low to the high. That's not the key. The key is getting 5 points within reasonable risk management and being able to do that repeatedly. That's the key. That's the only key. That's the only level of certainty or confidence. Viv, It's now been an hour and 50 minutes. We've had chances to take buys off previous days low, London low, skipped out on those opportunities to get the sells that I wanted. I'm very stuck in my bias as of right now. Could be problematic, but I don't care. As long as I'm not chasing the sells, I'm not chasing them. Like there's sells that occur, but I'm not chasing any given sell. I'm just waiting for them to occur. We want to see us get above the 50% range, leave a very large green candle with a fair value gap in there that gets inverted into an inverse fair value gap. Then we want to take the sells from there for at least 5 points short, and we target the 50% of the bullish range that sent price up. Now, if we have to sit here till the end of PM, that will suck. It's already lunch hour. Sitting through it, not doing anything. Ah! All right, thank you. Uh, oh, excuse me, that's gross. Sorry, guys. Getting close to the levels. Let's observe. We're not going to react too fast. We're going to observe and see what we can get. We may have SMT because NQ hasn't reached its high yet, and ES may sweep these highs without NQ taking its high. So that may be the SMT we need. Let's see. Buys off of 830 would have finally worked cleanly. It just took all day. Let's get above the 50% region. And then we're going to need the price action pattern to sell it because the levels that we have alone are below the 0.5 level. So we would need a price action pattern above the 0.5 or sell stop it at the London low midnight open. Let's go. So ES is sweeping the highs. The alert's coming up on my thing. All right, we're going to let it sweep them and see what we can get once it sweeps them. This may be it. See how this next candle closes. Might have to just sell it here. Let's sell it. We should have sold it already, but we'll sell it here.
Order Order filled.
We're in shorts. Let's see if we can get 5 points to the low. Reaction off of the 50% level, off of midnight open, off of London high. NQ didn't sweep the high, so there's a bit of SMT there. Let's see if we get what we're looking for. We're hoping it stays under that yellow line, which is midnight open. Looks like it is staying under there. I've got triggered into a second trade. Let's see.
Order filled. Order
All right, so let's
submitted.
see if we can get our target filled for 5 points, and we'll call it a Tuesday after that. Hopefully, we just keep going lower. From the initial rejection from those two levels. Let's see if we can go lower. If I had sold at the exact high, I may have already had 5 points. I kind
Order
of
filled.
hesitated. We're in a second entry on a lot of these other accounts. Let's see if we can get the 5 points. Think we will. We just have to be patient. Let's see. We're holding. This isn't logged in, so you're not seeing the trading panel, unfortunately. Let me try to open it up to see if I can add it on there. It's not my priority right now. I can show the executions after. I'm currently still in the trade, so I'm expecting to run to the lows, and I will just have to share a different video of it occurring. But the short we're in is from right about here. See if we can get our target. I'm not liking the pullback. I'm hoping that we continue lower. Let's see if we can just fill our target, and then we'll go to the sideline. See if we can fill our target and go to the sideline. Come on. Might be a good sign. See if we can fill our target. I think we will. Okay, let's see. We're close by it. Okay, we've been exited out of one position. I may flatten the whole position right here. I want to see if we're going to get to the second.
Target filled.
It looks like it's struggling. I'm just going to flatten everything. Call it a day. All right, we did it. Step away from the charts. We caught the sell we anticipated. Let me put on the levels on this screen so you guys can see the actual trade entry. 1 second. Let me update this. But that was all about patience. We had to wait. Patient as hell on that trade. The reason we can't see it is because I don't have this up. Trading panel, trade evade. I'm gonna log into my MyForex funds accounts. I'm gonna put this to the left here. I do apologize, guys. I know that we want to see all my entries and all that. I thought that it was triggered on, but it wasn't. So this is how it looks. These are the entries. These are the exits. It may melt. It may melt for the day. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna count my profits and I'm gonna prepare for tomorrow. So for right now, we are done trading. This was a longer day than I expected, but we eventually got our perfect entry and we got our exit, and it retraced heavily. That's why, I'm grateful for whenever I do get a graceful exit. So good stream, everybody.